I give it off to Jared.
Good morning. For those who don't know me, I'm Jared. I'm the Media Director of UK. Glad to get this slot after you've had some caffeine. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about digital consumption in the UK. We all know that a lot of people are consuming more. We all know that it's multiple devices. I think the most important thing is to give you an overview of the marketplace. And really, actually, let's just talk about what we can do to actually get more money into the buy. So a very quick overview, and this isn't just really limited to the UK. I think this can be put internationally as well, so it maybe stimulates some debate. Digital acquisitions increased. Pretty much last year, there were some major ones, such as AOL and Microsoft merging on sales houses. Some of us it affected worse, some of us it actually improved terms. I spoke to Joanne earlier on from Canada, saying that helped them. And then we had things like in the UK, Time Inc. acquired Collective UK. And why am I telling you this? Well, I think people like Time Inc., they need to have more of a digital offering. Just like what we're trying to do here in the UK, we're trying to improve our digital offering. The media owners are doing the same. So Time Inc. bought Collective to give them a video offering. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because media owners and agencies are really trying to tackle Facebook and Google. They, as we've seen in previous presentations, are taking a lot of money out of the marketplace, out of digital, and leaving just a small part of the pie for us. And we're starting to see the emergence of the acquisitions and mergers that are happening in 2016. There'll be more in 2017. And really, these media owners are trying to get the best offering to go to clients direct and to agencies and say, put money with us. And these are the media owners that we really want to start working with internationally. And it'll be something that I'll be keen to have a debate with people here, some of those acquisitions that we could potentially make or investment deals that we could have internationally. Programmatic trading, been bandied around quite a bit, the word, people have different terms to it, but it's not as advanced as we think. And I'll give you a UK perspective. Agency trading desks, don't know what their offering is for 2017 yet. Dentsu, don't have a clue yet. Media owners, quite a few media owners don't even trade programmatic. They have their own DSP, they can't interact with another DSP on an agency trading desk. It's quite a mess. So as much as we think we can go out there and do a lot of programmatic deals, I still think 2017 is a big learning year. And I think that the reason for that is, what do agencies know what good looks like? We've been trading in mediums for years, TV, press. We know what a TV spot cost is. We know what a press cost is. So we know what that benchmark is, and we know that we can beat that benchmark when we barter that model. Now, if programmatic hasn't been around for that long, and they're not trading heavily in it, how do we know what that benchmark is? How do we know what's good, and media owners think is good, and what agencies think is good? Because we've got to then barter off that net. So it's a real interesting situation that we face ourselves in at the moment. And I think 2017 is really going to see a lot of the bedding in of that for people to understand what good looks like. And then I think we can come into that marketplace quite strongly. Media owners are concerned with the yields that programmatic brings. I'll give you a very good example of this, of an article that was just released the other week from a publisher, well-known publisher in the UK called Guardian Group. They bought their own inventory and programmatically to see what results it gave them, and I'll show you the article because it's quite an interesting one. And then you've got the social platforms. They're hitting back. So much as they're taking their money, they want to grow. So people like Facebook Live are coming into the market, trying to take money out of the broadcasters. So it's something that's not really great for us as well, and that's why you can see a lot of the agencies and a lot of the media owners working together to combat this. It's funny that Facebook and Google don't offer discounts, and agencies like a bit of that money. So it's not all doom and gloom by any means. 2015, we had a really good year. 2016, good growth, up 50%. So from the UK perspective, so we've seen some significant growth, and it sort of mirrors to what Darren was saying on his slide earlier on. How does that break down? Display and VOD are the main contributors of that profiling. VOD in the UK is quite interesting because of the TV marketplace. So we're able to access around TV share deals within the UK to do that, and that's why we see significant growth there. But you'll see curves in mobile and programmatic as well, where we're investing time and effort into that, just like every other country is as well. So our programmatic billings, again, we had a good year in 2016, predicting significant growth in 2017. That will be with obviously the likes of people like Reckitt, which we do an international deal with, which is fantastic. But also trying to offer our programmatic solutions direct to the clients. and ultimately working with agencies as well to be able to have a barter deal after the programmatic buy. And that's an interesting one for us to contemplate, because how do we get involved with other people that are doing buys? And I know Eric mentioned this earlier on. So we've all seen this wonderful slide. The trading desk. Use DSP, access an SSP to get the inventory from the media owner. And that's pretty much the programmatic process in the buy. Now, rather than us trying to get in the middle here some way and work out how we get involved in that buy from a barter perspective, if an agency is in control of that buy, we will then invoice the media owner after that transaction has happened. So it's pretty much the same as an IO transaction, how we work now. We're just adopting that IO transaction and making it into a digital format. So we would invoice the media owner for our cash and trade at the end of the buy. This way we don't have any effect on the buy. The buy can run as normal, everyone gets their deals, everyone gets their cut, and then we make sure that we've got our cut at the very end. Now we're working with media owners across now into the next deal season. They're quite excited by this because we're saying to them, we're going out to media owners and say, hey look, we fund a lot of budget with barter. Do you want access to this? If you want some of this access, come and talk to us, come and talk to our partners. So we're having some good success early doors with this, and with agencies, because they feel that they can also make the buy, we're not affecting it, and we can still get a cut, and we can make trade credits. We can take trade credits down, and the agency gets something as well. So we think this is a really good way of us working programmatically. So this is the example I mentioned earlier on. Media owners are concerned with the amount of money that they're actually getting from programmatic. This article here, the Guardian Group bought their own inventory programmatically. And in some circumstances, out of the dollar or pound, should we say, they only received 30% of the buy. So they only 30 pence of that pound they received back after everyone else had taken their feet out of it. So that brings a really difficult situation for media owners in trading programmatically. It's what we see as evidence of yield erosion. So this is something that we're facing with media owners quite a lot at the moment. Lots of mouths in that feed that takes money out of that buy. And I don't think media owners are too encouraged to go programmatic. And obviously there's a lot of people in that mix. It does encourage direct P&P, so private marketplace. It will encourage that, and I think that's a great model for us, because that goes back to the classic barter model of us making investments up front with that media owner to be able to take down a direct buy. So I think that's a positive for us. And it will be clients who will buy direct. We see Reckitt's that buy directly. All right, they are a big entity, but I do feel now that clients are now becoming more educated. A lot of people are more savvy within digital. And I think this, again, presents itself as an opportunity for us. If we're a specialist, if we can advise them, we can potentially help buy from them direct as well. Just to give you an example for people that maybe don't work on the Reckitt's, 5 people buy online video for the whole of Reckitt's internationally from London. So it doesn't take a lot of people to buy that inventory for them. So I think clients are not as afraid as they used to be. And when they see articles like this, they're like, oh, hey, I'm putting in £1 and only 30% goes to the video, that's not fair. So I think there's a definite emergence in 2017 of clients becoming more confident, confrontational with agencies, and media owners fighting back and wanting more money. So I'm not too sure whether, I think this is probably across the board, I don't think this is UK specific. So it'll be an interesting year in 2017. Involved media, well, most of you will know we invested in a social media expert to come to the UK, and it helped us to gain some new clients, whether they're direct or actually working to take down some trade with the media owners, which is a really effective way to another resource instead of travel and transport. They can use social media to take down some of their trade. So I would like to give you a couple of examples of what we've done there. Skybet is a bookmakers in the UK, one of the largest. They had some really interesting content being made, and I think this is really important for us to understand when we're dealing with social media, is that it's no point us saying Involved's brilliant, we've got really good expertise, we'll run your social media for you. You need to be able to carry that client through, instill confidence in them, because if the content's not good, Ben and the team cannot do anything. They can optimise till midnight. It doesn't make any difference. So we have a responsibility to be able to go back to that client and ensure that content is great. And do you know what? If it's not, and they're not prepared to change it, at least we've said that up front, because I think this is a good opportunity for us to develop our offering. So if we can run a really successful social campaign for that client, what's stopping us running a programmatic campaign for them? And I think social is a really good stepping ground into iron traffic, into other offerings that we have within Active. But we need to understand that. So I'll quickly show you the video on this, because I think the other thing that clients are really moving into, the buzzword of content. There isn't a major sell on this video. This is all about them producing content, online video, people to engage with, and really there's one bit of sell at the end. That's it. And we need to recognise that and maybe offer solutions for clients on this basis. So I'm going to try and play you the video.
Deciding penalty. Let's have it. No! I got this penalty shootout.
So the reason why I showed you that is because Involved had a lot of responsibility within that video. They gave us some terrible content to start with. They showed us about the science of how a goalkeeper moves. It's not exactly engaging or exciting. We had to tell them how to edit it. We encouraged the subtitles there that you saw, because I'm sure many of us have been on Facebook, roll through a video and we haven't got the noise on, have we? So we encouraged them to put subtitles on because people can engage and still view with it. So there's a lot of process that we took that client through. And because we can do that, and we've got the skill set to do that, they're now working with us, and I really want to try and get in bed with them a little bit more and offer programmatic and obviously iron traffic. So I do believe that what we've got here Involved is a good stepping stone into other areas for us. And the campaign was very successful. The next one is for a restaurant. Heston Blumenthal, most people know Heston, or heard of him. He's a famous chef, 3 Michelin-starred restaurant called the Fat Duck in the UK. And I think we shouldn't forget our barter roots in that what we can offer. So anyone can say, I can run a social media campaign for you because we're really good and we've got the skills and assets to do it. No one can say, you haven't got to pay me any money, just pay me an inventory from your hotel, from your restaurant group, and I'll run you a social media campaign. We're very unique in that. So I think this is really a good example of how you can work with somebody who doesn't relatively have budget, they've got inventory that we would want, and then we can sell on to media owners and partners. And I think Involved, we shouldn't forget what Involved offers from a barter aspect as well as just a normal social campaigns as well. So yeah, we run a campaign for them to launch their Christmas menu, multiple bookings, and now we've got lots of inventory for Dean and Mark to use. So it's nice for them. Nice for them. Just a little thing on Heston, he's not allowed to have access to his social media account. He's a very naughty man by all accounts. So when he has a drink, he sends a few wrong tweets. So he's been taken off by his social media team, all access on there. So he's a very nice chap.
You got to run for president in the US.
Yeah, he's just as crazy. So. And then it's about giving back to our clients as well and education, because we need to instill confidence with people that we know what we're talking about. So we held a travel social workshop to hotel clients and travel clients within the UK. So we brought them in. We didn't do a hard sell on what Involved is. We actually talked to them about the marketplace. We talked to them about travel and how social is so important to them. And then we done literally a 2-slide sell at the end. It was a very, very successful workshop. We got very good positive feedback, and hopefully a couple of new clients on the back of it as well. So definitely, if we're going to do something like this, I think it's really important to not just say, here's involved, why don't we go down in sectors, especially in sectors that I believe that have got budgets or maybe haven't got budgets, and we can have that inventory as payment. So I really think this is a strong area for us, especially in the UK, because we're a travel agency. So the more inventory we get, the better for our media owners and partners that we have. So in summary, we're doing well. Billings are up. They're going to be up in 2017 again, hopefully more significant growth. Programmatic is growing. We anticipate growth across 2017. I think it's going to be a bumpy ride, but we're going to get there, and we've got certain solutions for clients direct and agencies. Involved has given us opportunities, and I think, I keep on saying, I do believe it's a really good platform for us to then get in and instill confidence in a client. So hopefully we'll start offering more digital solutions to people. UK's in a good position to be part of Programmatic, as I said. We'd like to identify global inventory partners, and I think this is what this conference is about. I would really like to speak to quite a few people here. You know, the likes of AOL who have merged with Microsoft, and Yahoo coming into that platform. They're quite a big entity now. We should be looking at it internationally from an inventory source and seeing if we can do an upfront deal. They're going to want money for next year. They've spent a lot of money buying all these acquisitions. They're going to need revenue next year. Can we do an international deal? So that's something that I'd like to discuss with you all. And then PMP remains an area of opportunity. Private marketplace will come round. It will come round at the moment. I think where programmatic is not providing the yields for media owners, I think the private marketplace will. So I do see that as an opportunity. I had to put Brexit in there because people will just say, what's it going to do? But you know, it's an opportunity and a threat at the same time. So I think it's a pretty good summary for us in 2017.